Welcome to a Holy Mess podcast. All right, my friends, we all know life can be so difficult and painful at times, especially when we're carrying grief or loss or wrestling with shame about our past, anxiety about our future, or frankly, like we are just not enough. But there has to be so much more for us. There is hope and joy, peace, love, fun, purpose, and a reason that you, my friend, are on this planet. Let's partner with God so you can be who He created you to be as you wrestle through and trudge through your mess. Hi, I'm Danny, a recovering alcoholic, a mom, a wife, a mentor, and dust. We are only here for a moment. Let's live like it. I'm just like you. I'm a holy mess most days. Actually, every day. Let's have some fun and laugh while trudging through our mess. This stuff doesn't need to be dry and boring. Let's dig in.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I hope that you are having a good day. I'm so grateful to be with you today. So today's episode, it's going to be a homework assignment for those of you that would like to take on the assignment. What is that, James Bond? For those of you that would like to take on the assignment will be, I couldn't remember what that saying from James Bond. Anyways, okay, I love James Bond movies, by the way. Those are my kind of movies. Okay, let's get into today. So I have a short homework assignment for those of you that want to do it. Now listen, some of you are going to love this homework assignment. Others of you, you may feel a whole bunch of resistance to it. And listen, don't shame yourself. Don't judge yourself if you feel resistance. Just notice that. Just notice what comes up for you as I explain this whole thing to you, okay? Because just in how you respond to even the prompt that I'm about to give you, will tell a lot about where you're struggling or what you're struggling with. Now, listen, I work with a lot of people who have relational issues in their life, whether it be their spouse, right? They have issues with their husbands, whether it be their children, their adult children that maybe aren't treating them as well as they'd like, or maybe their children are not living in a lifestyle that they approve of, or there's just a lot of tension there relationally. I help a lot of people who have issues with their parents and trying to deal with their childhood stuff. So listen, a lot of my clients, maybe 70% of my clients, I'll say, have relational issues or issues with people relationally. And so one of the things that I always try to bring it back to is trying to find spiritual healing and healing in people's relationship with themselves. And I know it might sound crazy to some of us where it's like, no. I have a great relationship with myself, or I have a good enough relationship with myself. Maybe it's not where I want it to be, or maybe it's not how I'd like it to be, but it's good enough and we get by and all of that. And most people really, really struggle in other relationships in their life. And that's where a lot of their focus is. And how do I heal? How do I fix? What do I do? What do I do with my marriage? What do I do with my kids? What do I do with my parents? What do I do in this business relationship? A lot of people have colleague issues and just it's human experience to have issues with people, right? Some of us just do. And I've had a lot of human conflict. I've had a lot of relational issues in my life. Oh my gosh, you name it. And I've had a relational issue or conflict or something that I needed to work through. A lot of the issues that I thought could never be resolved between me and, let's say, my parents, I never thought I'd be able to resolve those issues. And by the grace of God, I have a thriving, amazing relationship with my parents. Now, listen, there was a lot of work that had to be done on both sides, but it's incredible. And I sit here not as like you need to do this or you should do this or no. I sit here just saying, I know what it's like to have very broken relationships in every area of life or in a lot of areas of life, friendships, broken church relationships. I mean, I've had to leave a church before over some church hurt and all that. And actually, I'm going to have my pastor on who I left a church about, 6-7 years ago. And Gary and I, about 9 months ago, returned to that church. And so that whole reconciliation it wasn't even reconciliation. I just needed time and space and healing and all that. There was nothing to reconcile. It was just more of, I had to deal with kind of the pain. And it had nothing to do with the pastor or his wife. We love them. We adore them. They're dear friends. But it had to do with, when you're involved in church and you see behind the veil, sometimes it's just ain't pretty. And I saw some stuff. I was on a church board and I really, really, really struggled. And I really could not reconcile some issues and have peace. And so it couldn't be my place of worship. So anyways, long story short, Gary and I left. We had to. We were called. We really felt the Lord leading us. By the grace of God, the Lord led us and ministered to us and did a lot of healing. I never thought I would be back at the church that we are back at. And we're there and we love it and we're all in and it's been beautiful. So I asked my pastor, there's so much I could have him to talk about on the podcast, but I thought, you know what? Let's just talk about that. Let's talk about some church hurt and how do you reconcile? I know there's a lot of people that will never, ever go back to the church that hurt them. I get that. I never thought I'd be back at my church. And I'm not saying you need to reconcile or go back to a church that hurt you. In fact, I'm saying probably the very opposite, because some churches, it's just, if it's toxic and it was toxic for your soul, by all means, get out. Don't be in a place that is toxic for your soul. I don't care what relationship that is. I don't think Jesus would want us to take on abuse or that toxic. Now, I'm just saying, take care of yourself. Here's the bottom line of what one of the things that I really want to talk about. And it's funny because I think I'm going to be talking more and more about this on my podcast and just in my programs in general, because this is what it's all about for me. I want to help people not only heal spiritually, right? Because there's so many tools out there that we can utilize to really find peace with God and peace with ourselves and all of that, and find our purpose and meaning on this planet and live it out. Like, you guys, we have limited time. While we have breath in our lungs, man, let's not live shackled to shame and regret and all of that. Like, there's just too much out there for us. Now, as I say that, it's really hard and it's not as easy as just like taking off the chains and walking away. There's a process. There's a healing process. So sometimes that can take years. Sometimes it can take decades. However long it takes, man, stay the course. Just know you're still in the process of healing, whatever you're walking through, okay? But don't lose hope. Don't give up. There's so much more for you on this planet than just suffering and just struggling. And I'm reminded of a couple of weeks ago when I sat down with Zach and my husband with the immunologist, and we went through everything with Zach, and the doctor just grabbed his knee and was like, you're too young to suffer like this. We're going to figure this out, but I need you to help me and I need you to be patient with me. And I just thought, man, that is so the Lord. All of us, we're too young and we still have breath in our lungs to suffer the emotional consequences. Yeah, some suffering, it rains on the just and the unjust, and some suffering we cannot avoid, okay? But a lot of times, guys, there is so much healing to be had. And so we don't have to live under the tyranny or under the umbrella of the constant struggle and suffering, no matter what's been done to you and no matter what you've done. I am telling you right now, there is more freedom for you. I'm living proof. I just keep saying that because I'm so passionate about it. I think I am just so passionate about this whole thing. So as Zach's doctor said to him and put her hand on his knee and said, you're too young to suffer like this, I put my hand on your knee and I lean in and I say, my friend, there's too much for God to do with you on this planet still. And I don't care if you're in the later chapters of your life. I'm telling you right now, there's too much more for you to enjoy in this world and on this planet that the Lord has for you. So just stay the course. So like Zach's doctor said, I need your help. I think the Lord needs our help. This is part of sanctifying grace. This is part of us and becoming who we were created to be. You guys, it takes some work. There is some work to this whole thing. And I am all about grace. I'm all about this. Everything was paid for us by Jesus and all of that. But to really walk in freedom, man, it does take some work for us. Grace is free, but to walk it out, I'm telling you, I don't know a free way to do that. It takes some work. It takes a pound of flesh for us to walk in freedom. And we need to be patient with the Lord. I guess that's the moral of the story. There's still more for him to do. Let me just say the homework assignment to you. I want you to email me. How did it feel when you wrote this down and when you looked in the mirror and said all this? So this is my homework assignment for you if you want to do it. Okay. If you don't, just listen to the episode, listen to the song at the end, and I hope the scripture blesses you. But if you don't do it, I ask you to ask yourself, why am I so resistant to this? Why? And just begin to even journal that and ask questions. You guys, this whole self-awareness thing, we just live in a trance so much of the time. We don't even really know what's really going on. And you guys, our soul wants to speak to us. Our soul, our spirit wants to reveal the deeper truths and the deeper mysteries of Christ to us. Just life is just beating us down, and sometimes we're exhausted, and sometimes we can't even hear ourselves. That's okay. It's all part of the process. So be patient with yourself. So no matter what comes up, you're right where you're supposed to be. Don't judge yourself based on how someone else's experience with this exercise is. Don't judge yourself. Let's all take a deep breath and just realize that whatever comes up for us was to give us more information so that we can learn more about ourselves and walk in a little bit more freedom. So here's my assignment. Every morning for the next 7 days, I want you, when you wake up, I want you to go look in the mirror and I want you to look yourself in the eye. I know right now some of you are like, nope, not doing it. I want you to go look yourself in the eye and I want you to say sincerely, if you can, or if like a robot, if you need to, I love you. And just pause and just see what your soul says. See if your spirit says back, I love you too. Or see if you feel this resistance of like, I can't say that. And I don't really love myself. I just want you to do this little assignment and just see what comes up for you, because you guys, I'm telling you, in how you respond to this will tell you a lot of how you need to move forward and what you need healing in what area of your life. If you say, I love you, and all you sense is shame or guilt for around some issue, you need to work through that issue. That's the indicator of what is blocking you from truly loving and embracing yourself. Maybe it's a childhood thing. Maybe it's something that was done to you and you feel tainted. I don't know what the answer is, okay? But what I do know is that this practice can be so holy and healing. Remember, you're a child of God. You're an image bearer of Christ. You guys, and I hate to break the news to you. I know in some Christian culture, it's like we can't love ourselves because we're going to turn narcissistic and selfish. That's such a bunch of BS. You guys, we're commanded to love ourselves. Love ourselves as we love our neighbors. We're not just supposed to love our neighbors. We're supposed to love ourselves and then love our neighbors, because when our well is full, then we have the capacity and the space to love our neighbors. I'll tell you right now, when I hated myself, when I judged myself, I had no space or capacity for ministry and to really see people on the outside. I was judgmental. I was harsh. I don't even know what I was. I was not the human I am today. And I can say wholeheartedly, I'm learning to really love myself, to really appreciate myself, to really adore myself. And I know some of you might be thinking, that is so, I don't know if I could ever get there, Danny. Trust me, you can. It just takes some time and it takes some work. But first, you just have to figure out where you are. It's all about self-awareness. We're like taking our temperatures right now. Okay. This is like something that we do a lot in my program, the Feel Better Journey. And it's one of those things because you guys, sometimes we get our brains, neuroplasticity, we get locked onto one issue. Like, no, it's my marriage. Like, this is my issue and it's his, and this is what he does. And I'm not saying there's not marriage issues. There probably is. And there's probably some really dysfunctional things, maybe that is a part of your marriage and maybe that your husband does. I get it. But you guys, as long as we have this broken relationship with ourselves, we will never know what to do or how to heal our marriage or how to move on from that marriage. I mean, like, there is so much work to do in ourselves, because otherwise our dysfunctional selves go with us wherever we go. And this is why we're trying to bring healing to these places. And if this is hard for you, you guys, it's because the world has rained on your parade. The world has been so hard to you and harsh to you in relationships. But the one relationship that you have total control over is your relationship with yourself. And I'm telling you, there's nothing more holy that you can do than work on this one relationship with yourself and with the Lord. And it's holy. And I'm telling you, that is my name of the game. That is, if someone says, hey, Danny, what are you all about? I'm about helping people heal their relationship with themselves and find healing and wholeness with the Lord. Period. End of sentence. I'll do whatever it takes. Those are my two goals and my two lifelong callings on this planet. And so that's my passion. So this is my assignment to you. I want you to do for the next 7 days, get up, look in the mirror and say, I love you. And just see what comes up for you. Journal that, write that, just unpack that. If you want to email me, hello@dannysumner.com. hello@dannysumner.com. I will respond to you. I'll respond to everybody's email. I will pray for you. And I would just want to know what comes up for you. Did it feel natural? Did it feel okay? Did you feel embracing of yourself? Or did shame come up? Or did guilt come up? Or what came up for you? I'll pray for you. I love this stuff. I love helping people heal their relationship with themselves. Yes, we all want to have the relational healing with our kids and with our parents and with our colleagues and with our children. And I already said kids, but with our spouses, with everybody, siblings. Oh my gosh, siblings. That's a huge, huge relational issue we have. I get it. Sometimes we really need to work on those things. But first, we need to make peace and make sure that we're okay inside. We need to start here. We need to heal this relationship right now. Okay, so that's my assignment. Also, I want to share a song with you, and then I want to share a verse. Let me share the verse first because I love this verse. It's from Jeremiah 1:5. It's a great verse, and it says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart. Again, Jeremiah 1:5 says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart. One of the reasons why I love this verse is because for so long, I felt like an accident in this world. Like I felt like I wasn't meant to be here. I didn't fit. I didn't feel like I really belonged and all of this. And the Lord gave me this verse many years ago, and it just spoke directly to my heart. He knew me before I was formed. He knew me before the dawn of time. Like he knew who I was going to be. And so I just love that, you guys, because it gives us hope. You may have been your mama's mistake. You may have been your daddy's mistake, but you are not God's mistake. And some of us just need to breathe into that. Some of us need to pray into that and just hold on to that. Just know you're not a mistake. You were meant to be here. So again, Jeremiah 1:5, and it'll be in the show notes. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart. I love that. Okay. And the song that I want to share with you is God Only Knows by King and Country. You guys, if you are struggling in almost any way, that song is really profound. The words are really profound. Basically, God only knows what you're going through. God only knows what you've been through, and God loves you. And so it's just a really good song. I don't want to sing it for you because that's not my gifting at all. I'm going to stay in my lane. Singing is not my gifting. Actually, hilariously, I found a picture on my phone the other day. Gary sent it to me because I sing and dance around my house. It's one of my coping mechanisms. It's one of my tools that makes me happy. It brings joy to my life. And I've just always been singing and dancing around our house. And so listen, I'm not a great dancer. I'm a better dancer than I am a singer, but I do not have a great singing voice, like at all. Okay. And so we have this picture of the kids. Zach has tissues in his ears and Kenzie has her fingers in ears. And I'm out there like singing and I didn't see them. And it was hilarious. And Gary snapped a picture of the kids with like blocking their ears while I'm just belting out a song. And so make a joyful noise to the Lord. That's what they say. So anyways, God didn't make me a great singer. It's fine. I don't care. He gave me other giftings. I'm at peace with it. Okay. And I do feel bad when I sing out loud in front of other people, but not bad enough to stop. So anyways, it is what it is. Anyways, hey, I'm just learning to love myself, all of me, even the bad singing parts of me. It's all good. All right. Let me say a prayer for you. I'm so grateful you're here. You guys, again, I am so passionate about helping people heal their relationship with themselves. I'm realizing when it comes down to it, someone asked me the other day, like, what's your passion? What do you do? And I'm like, I help people heal their relationship with themselves ultimately and with the Lord. And amazingly, as we heal with ourselves, these other relationships make more sense. And we know when we need to put up boundaries and what we need to do and how to respond. So many of us have lost our voice. This is part of healing your relationship with yourself. You find your voice, you find your courage to speak kindly, respectfully, grace-filled, but to people who are harming you and say, that's not gonna fly anymore. I'm not going to stay in a relationship with somebody who is toxic for my soul. I know my value. I know my worth. I'm not doing it. You guys, this is what gets exciting for me, because as I work with people, I see them grow and I see them have courage and more boundaries with people in their life. And it's just beautiful. So anyways, I just wanted to say that today because I just felt really, really compelled to let you guys know that as we heal our relationship with ourselves, I'm telling you, other relationships around us are healed and we find boundaries, we find clarity. All of a sudden, things that we were confused about, we have wisdom. Like, no. Or we don't take things so personal because we know it's not about us. It's about what they're doing and all of that. So there's other steps to it, but ultimately it's about making peace with ourselves. That's what I'm all about. So I love you. I'm so grateful you're here. If you need prayer, please email me, hello@dannysumner.com. If you want to find out more about my coaching program, The Feel Better Journey, go to www.dannysumner.com/The Feel Better Journey. I would love to journey with you and help you with your relational issues with people. Like, this is what it's about. It's about making peace with the Lord and with ourselves, and then hopefully with others in our lives as well. So let me say a quick prayer for you, and then I'll see you in a couple days. Lord, thank you for this space. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for my friend. Lord, I pray that as they do this homework assignment, and they look themselves in the mirror and they say, I love you, Lord, I pray that they would sense your peace, that you're going to heal them in whatever ways that they are still resentful to themselves, whatever ways they still judge themselves, whatever ways they compare themselves to other people. Look, Lord, I pray that you would just reveal to them where they need to work on that part. And Lord, I just pray that they would sense hope. I pray that over you. I pray just you would know that you belong and that you're loved and that God is looking out for you and cares for you. And Lord, whatever has harmed them or hurt their relationship with themselves, whoever's hurt them, Father, Lord, I pray you just minister deeply and richly to their soul. I know some of us feel like no one can understand, and Lord, maybe none of us would, but you do. And so, Lord, would you just hug them there in those deep parts of them, Lord. Bless them and fill them. In Jesus Christ's precious name, amen. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. I'll see you in a couple days.
Hello, my friend. If this episode blessed you, made you laugh, or triggered you, hey, that's growth. Please do me a favor and share this with a friend. And if you feel led, please leave a written review for the show. That really helps us out. Don't forget you are in good company if you're feeling more broken than you'd like to admit. And you are more loved than you can ever imagine. Have a great week. See you next time.